What if October 2025 was never just another month in the calendar? What if it was the month that determined the entire trajectory of one of the world's most beloved stars? The month that tested not only his career, but also the weight of his heart, his resilience, and the depth of his artistry. This is not just another chapter in entertainment history, it is the story of kimtaehyung, known to millions as VFBTS, and the way October 2025 has become the defining turning point of his career. Before you scroll away, ask yourself, have you ever witnessed an artist fight a battle not only against the pressures of fame, but also against the invisible boundaries of destiny? If this story stirs something inside you, don't forget to leave your thoughts, hit like, and subscribe to continue following the journey, because what you are about to read is not just news. It is an emotional ride you'll want to discuss. The leaves of autumn were falling, and so is the illusion that everything was steady in kimtaehyung's world. October had arrived with a silence that disguised storms beneath it. Fans had long speculated that this month would bring a seismic shift, but no one could have predicted the intensity of what unfolded. Was it a rise, or was it a fall? Was it the start of something greater, or the end of an era as we knew it? These are the questions that gripped not only armies across the globe, but even those who had once viewed him from a distance, intrigued by his presence but never fully immersed in his narrative. For Taehyung, October 2025 was more than schedules, stages, or headlines. It was the month when choices had to be made, sacrifices revealed, and truths confronted. He had always been known for his artistry that blurred the line between music and emotion, between performance and confession. Yet, in this month, every note he sang, every appearance he made, every silence he allowed himself carried the weight of history. If you listen closely, you could hear more than just music. You could hear the echoes of a man reshaping his future. At the beginning of the month, whispers began to spread across social media. Some wondered whether Taehyung was preparing to announce a new global project, while others speculated about an inevitable hiatus. The ambiguity was suffocating, and fans clung to every hint, every cryptic message, every unexplained absence, as if their lives depended on it. Was he stepping away, or stepping higher than ever before? No one could tell, and perhaps that was his power keeping the world suspended, in a state of anxious anticipation. Then came the revelation. October did not pass quietly into the archives of history. It roared with the weight of Taehyung's decisions. When he took the stage for the first time that month, there was a stillness in the air, a tension that could be cut with a knife. He sang with a voice that seemed to tremble between pain and power, as though each lyric was torn from a chapter of his soul that had never been revealed. For fans, it was more than a performance. It was a confession wrapped in melody. Questions rose like wildfire. Was he signaling a farewell, or was he unveiling a rebirth? Behind the scenes, insiders revealed the immense struggles he faced during this month. It was not only about the music industry's relentless expectations, but also about his internal confrontation with identity, artistry, and legacy. Fame had always placed Taehyung under an unforgiving microscope, but October was when that magnifying glass felt like fire. Choices that ordinary people might take years to contemplate were compressed into days. And his career, his artistry, his sense of belonging were all on the line. Yet, even under such weight, he carried himself with a quiet dignity that broke hearts and inspired millions. There were moments of vulnerability that shocked even his closest followers. Taehyung, known for his playful smiles and warm aura, allowed the world to see cracks that few ever imagined. It was in the way he spoke during interviews, in the pauses between his words, in the moments his eyes seemed to drift to places his fans could not follow. It was as though October forced him to pull away the curtain and show that behind the shimmering lights of the stage stood a man wrestling with questions of purpose and truth. And then, as if scripted by fate itself, came the turning point. Mid-October, an announcement shook not only the K-pop world, but the global entertainment stage. Kim Taehyung declared a new chapter, one that no longer bound him to the expectations of the past. It wasn't a retreat, nor was it a complete breakaway. It was something far more complex, something that defied the neat labels people tried to impose. He was claiming his own destiny, crafting a path that blurred the lines between idol, artist, and visionary. The emotional reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Social media exploded with messages of support, disbelief, and raw emotion. Some fans wept at the thought of change, while others celebrated his courage to embrace evolution. But above all, there was one undeniable truth. October 2025 had become the month when Kim Taehyung reminded the world that he was not simply a performer to be consumed, but a human being charting his own course. As the days of October slipped by, every appearance of his felt like a coded message. Every photograph, every word, every fleeting smile became dissected, analyzed, cherished. Fans clung to hope, to love, to the idea that their unwavering support could help him shoulder the burden of choice. It was no longer just about music. It was about solidarity, about understanding, about witnessing the raw humanity behind a global star. By the end of October, the transformation was undeniable. He had not only faced the storms, but danced within them. His artistry had evolved, his presence had deepened, and his courage had set a precedent for countless others in the industry. What could have broken him instead became the fire that refined him. October 2025 did not just mark a shift in his career, it marked the rebirth of an artist who refused to be defined by the world's expectations. And so, as history will remember, October was never merely a month. It was a trial by fire, a stage upon which Kim Taehyung proved that he was not only a singer or an idol, but a soul with the strength to redefine destiny. It was a reminder that behind the glitter of fame lies the raw battle of self-discovery, and that sometimes the most unforgettable performances are not the ones on stage, but the ones fought in silence, with courage as the only audience. So, reader, what do you think? Was October 2025 the month that tested Kim Taehyung, or the month that crowned him as more than an artist, but as a legend in the making? Share your thoughts below. Let the world know how his journey touched you. And don't forget to like and subscribe to keep this conversation alive. Because if this story proves anything, it's that we are not just spectators in Kim Taehyung's journey, we are part of it. And October 2025 is the proof.